Here we go. What will the test look like? How is the next gen gonna look like? Take a look at the Next Generation newsletter, Winter 2022, and it'll tell you everything you want to know. Here's a brief synopsis. So, if you think about the NCLEX, it is like a cheese pizza. If you think about the NGN, Next Generation, that we'll see in April 2023, it's basically a pepperoni pizza. So there's still the cheese pizza with some enhancements on it. So for the most part, the next gen is going to look very similar to the 2021 NCLEX or 2022 NCLEX. Let's take a look at some of the differences. This timing is 5 hours for both. Research, they say that most students finish their NCLEX within 2 hours. So they feel that 5 hours is plenty for everybody. And we're still going to use a variable length, and we're going to use something called CAT, Computer Adaptive Testing. So what that means is if you get an answer wrong, the questions will get harder and get easier and easier. If you get a question correct, the questions will get a little bit harder and harder. And for the NCLEX today, it ranges from 75 to 145 questions. Next gen will be slightly more, not by much, 85 to 150. The total scored items, so the items that count, the questions that count, will range from 60 to 130 for today and 70 to 135 for the next gen. So remember, some of the questions that you take don't count. It's just part of their research. But the only thing is you don't know which ones don't count. So you're going to really try your best on all of the questions. So the NCLEX today does not have any case studies. Next Gen has 3 case studies, and each case study will have 6 questions, and the questions will be put in order along that layer 3, recognizing cues, analyzing cues, prioritizing, generating solutions, taking action, and evaluating. And there's also going to be some standalone. So you'll see here there's the traditional NCLEX kind of questions, the select all that apply, the single response. You're also going to see the bow tie and trend, and they write here, etc. So take a look to see what kind of different questions you might get so you're not surprised on test day. So the standalone items come anywhere between 60 to 130 for today's NCLEX and 52 to 117 for the next gen. So you're like, oh wow, that's a pretty big range, right? So I talked to Jason and I was trying to get the lowdown from him. So this is what he says. So for the next generation exam, about 75% of the questions will be the old school kind of questions, the choose one response or the select all that apply. And then about 25% of them will test your clinical judgment. And the 2 types of questions that will test your clinical judgment are the case studies, at least 3 case studies, and also the standalone questions like the bow tie and the trend questions. Oh, so there's a new approach to scoring. Hey, I think I could squeeze that video into this one because it's not too long. Okay, let's talk about scoring. So the NCLEX today, you either get 0 points or 1 point for each question, even if it's a select all that apply. If you get it all right, you get 1 point. If you miss anything, you get 0 points. So it's an all or nothing for NCLEX today. Next gen gets a little bit more complicated. It gives some partial credit in some different ways. And there are 3 different ways to get partial credit depending on what type of question it is. So if you are like, I don't care, just stop the video right now. All I'm going to do is just try my best, and that's totally cool. But if you want to know how this scoring works for next gen, keep listening. So there are 3 methods. Method 1 is called plus minus scoring. So let's say, which of these U.S. national parks are in California? I don't remember what he said the answer was. Okay. So Sequoia and Yosemite are in California, but Zion is not in California. So you get 2 points because you got 2 of them correct, but you have to minus 1 because you got 1 incorrect. So the final score for this question for this student would be 1 because 2 minus 1 is 1. And we take away points because we don't want everyone clicking all of the responses. So we have to penalize wrong answers as well. So Joshua Tree was the third one. Okay, now method 2, this is called the 0-1 scoring. It says which 3, so it actually gives you a number in this question. Which 3 of these U.S. national parks are in California? So let's say you did the same thing like you did earlier. You did Yosemite and Sequoia and Zion. 2 of them are correct. 1 is wrong. 2 of them are correct. 1 is wrong. So since you had that wrong one, let's see. Oops. You get 2 points. Okay, cool. So if they give you a number like 3, you can get 2 points out of a maximum of 3 points. Okay. No penalty. I don't know why there's no penalty. I'm just thankful there is none. I guess because they give you that number 3. I'll just take it. We'll just take their generosity. So the candidate will earn 2 points out of the maximum 3. Okay. There's one more. It's called method 3, rationale scoring. So in order to get points for this, you have to get the correct answer for both drop downs. To get a point on this type of question, you need to answer both parts correctly. Let's take a look at the example. The capital of is blank. So let's say someone put the capital of California is Denver. That is obviously not correct. So the student would get 0 points because both of those parts have to match up. Okay, so we want to do partial credit scoring because it measures more precisely who knows what. Okay, so if you want to learn more, there's a ton of NGN newsletters. Just Google that and that'll pull up stuff for you. There's going to be some sample questions available. There's 3 RN case studies, and then there's in about a week or two, maybe like mid-October, they're going to come out with 100 practice questions. And those practice questions are going to have a lot of the old school kind of cheese pizza kind of questions, and then it's going to have some of those extra bow ties and trend type questions. All right, I think that's about it. Okie dokie, good luck. Take care.